Hey guys, a 119.679 by Esteban Puki at Qatar. Obviously, you can buy these setups in the description, simracingsetups.com. Also going to be comparing it to a Jarno Optmir 19.486. That was PSGL round 9. That was P3 in short qualifying. But let's first look at Puki's lap, and I'll talk a little about Jarno's lap as well. So down the straight, ERS mode, overtake, 52. Now we switch to medium as we approach the first corner. As the back of the car gets past the 50-meter board, heavy on the brakes, almost 100%, or you can do 100%, then drop the brakes quickly. You can be a bit closer on this apex over here. That'd be more ideal. Big jump on throttle, and we're back on overtake mode, 52 brake bias. Coming up here, as the car gets behind the 50-meter board, we're gonna just reduce the brakes some and just maybe tap the brakes 5 or 10%, get the car turned in, get a big jump on throttle, medium, now overtake. So Puki was about a tenth faster than Jarno in Sector 1, but he used a lot more ERS, and then Jarno was like 3/10 faster in the final sector. That's what the difference is. Here as you're past the 50-meter board, a bit of braking and a bit of lift. You don't have to do a brake here. You could just lift. Because you see he has a bit of braking at the same time as the lift. You could just lift a bit more. I think Jarno just lifts. But a lot of inside curb. Then this is all flat, medium to none, to medium to overtake. A lot of changing of ERS modes. Now we're up to 53 brake bias. Now going into none in this corner as the back of the car, or I would say as the side of the car gets to the 50-meter board. 100% braking, very far off the curb. Heavy braking down. Flick the car in. Now back to overtake mode. Back to 52. Now here again as the back of the car past the 50-meter board, I would look for that. Then maybe 50% braking. Get the car turned in and drop the brakes. You could be even a bit more curb, then big jump on throttle, run the car out wide here, back to medium. Now here I would say you want to look to the right here. I would say as you're about here, as kind of this curb starts, that's when you want to start braking, or even a bit before that. Maybe even you could look at the line, this white line here. We're kind of in between this area, see where we start the braking when none. About 90% brake pressure really quickly. You want to avoid the double inputs. He does that a lot in this lap. None. Get an inside curb here. Then big jump on throttle. You run it out wide. Overtake mode. So even at this point, he is ahead of Jarno, but Jarno's about 10% more battery. So this is a flat section here. Flat. Use some overtake. Then the medium. Now overtake. Medium. Now overtake. Now this is where Jarno is able to get ahead. He's able to do a bit more overtake, especially at this last corner. He's able to apply overtake mode just before it and all the way out, while Puki has to release. Then this is also flat out, turn in, then a lot more overtake mode here. Then again, as the back of the car reaches the 50-meter board, heavy 100% braking. You're back to none. Get the car turned in, big jump on throttle, then overtake mode on the exit. Now I'll show you Jarno's lap. So here's the 2 laps stacked. One thing you'll notice, Jarno's able to use more curb on T1 entry, so that's a bit better. So here we see more curb here, but Jarno gets a bit of a moment, gets a bit of a snap here, he loses some time. So he's actually down, or he loses some time on his delta just in sector 1. Again, at this point, Jarno has about 8% more battery. Jarno just does a lift at that corner, doesn't do any braking. And then we can see difference of battery about 10%. Heavy braking zone, both get the car turned in well. Again, 10% difference. Here we go. Now, again, Puki was able to use more curb up there. See, again, 11% difference in battery. And Puki's in none now. So, if you look at any of these points, Puki's, or you look at here, Puki's is ahead. So if you look at the line here, Puki's already passed that, but 10% more battery. He's able to use a lot more in the sector. So this is when Jarno uses the battery. 7, now 7%, now very similar. And now this section's flat. Now, if you look at where we are here, Jarno's now ahead. So we can look out where they're relations to that board, or just even in the 150, he's ahead at the 150. And then braking zone, and then similar ERS usage on the exit. So that's the difference in the lap. Now I'm going to show you all of Puki's lap. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See ya. Bye.